Welcome to Baramag Interviews. This is your host, Leonardo Calcano.
My name is Samantha Martin. My band is Samantha Martin and Delta Sugar. We're from Toronto, Ontario, and we sing soul, blues, and gospel.
Excellent. How important is an event like this for you?
I think this kind of event is really important from a business aspect because it is so small and intimate. You really get to form long-lasting relationships with the people you get to speak to, as opposed to sort of just like shaking somebody's hand in a hallway
Or wave by Facebook.
or wave, that sort of thing. So you get a little bit more one-on-one time, and I think it's important
to meet people. I just took you out from the speed dating, and I was wondering, how do you prepare yourself for speed dating?
For the speed dating, I look at the delegate lists and the delegate bios. I try to asterisk sort of the ones that are most pertinent to what I need and what I do. And otherwise, I just try to kind of look and see who's going to be there and what their names are and what company they have. And, if it doesn't necessarily relate to me, it still doesn't mean that I can't have a conversation about whatever with them, just try to be personable and,
Does it work well?
It does.
All right.
It does, yeah. I try to just go in upbeat and happy to meet people, we're all here to make connections, so.
Excellent. So can you give us like a little bit, a small music guide of the Toronto scene, the folk scene, I guess?
Of the Toronto music scene in general?
Oh, yours scene, pretty much.
My scene okay. Well, that's a little hard because my scene's a bit fractured right now. There's a lot of venues in Toronto the mid-sized venues that are shutting down and either being sold for condo, like the building that the place was in was being sold for condos, or bad financial management is also a big problem in venues. But the mid-sized venues, for the type of music that I do, they're not thriving at the moment, and I'm really, it's just become really fractured. But as far as the blues community and the soul music and gospel and that sort of thing, the Toronto Blues Society does their very best to kind of keep that alive in the scene and try to present different things like music in parks and Harborfront, and they do the Women's Blues Review at Massey Hall. They have the Maple Blues Awards at Kerner Hall. They just try to keep the blues and soul community alive in the city.
So as an artist, how hard is it to make it, pretty much?
It doesn't get much harder than...
I know, because already you're not making that much money, but
yeah,
let's travel around the world, do stuff.
Absolutely. I think the biggest issue right now is because there's not a lot of people left in the industry that are willing to invest in building an artist. And I think that's the biggest problem, is that artists are coming into it and they're spending all of their spare money, which there isn't a whole lot of, being a musician, and people arguing over a $5 cover they don't want to pay at the door. So the ticket prices haven't adjusted for inflation, so there's not a lot of money coming in on the artist side of things. And then those artists who are lucky enough to have team members also have to pay those team members somehow. So I think what the industry needs right now is people like labels and agents and managers who are willing to take their money and build an artist. We need angel investors, essentially, is what we need. And, the grant funding bodies like Factor and Canada Council, Ontario Arts Council, Toronto Arts Council, they're trying to fill that void that was left by the record labels who aren't investing in building artists anymore. They're trying. But, I think... the market's also really saturated. It's really hard you got to really dig to find the star factor in the scene, and I think DJs and cover bands and that sort of thing are saturating the market and taking away from and not that they're not good and don't have a place, but they're taking away that entertainment dollar from artists who are trying to do original music. And I think, if not only the community behind it, but also the funders and that sort of thing really focus on promoting original live music in mid-sized venues and building these artists, I think our scene will be a lot better for it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.